Howdy neighbors, John here with eTrailer, and today we're going to be taking a look at the Kuat Sherpa 2.0 bike rack on our 2020 Mazda CX-30. This is a great bike rack if you're looking for something that's very adaptable to a ton of different bikes, along with being very easy to handle and having a good weight capacity for how much it weighs. Let's take a closer look at some of the features. Now this bike rack is amazing whenever it comes to working with a variety of different bikes. This works really well with them, and let's actually take a look at how that reacts with them.
This is our test course. Let's start with the slalom. This shows side-to-side action, such as turning corners or evasive maneuvering. Then, onto our alternating speed bumps. This shows twisting action, such as hitting curbs, potholes, road debris, or even uneven pavement. Last of all, the solid speed bumps. This shows up and down action, such as driving through a parking lot or parking garage, or driving in and out of a driveway.
One of the most important features whenever it comes to platform style bike racks, in my opinion, is if it can tilt away. And luckily with the Kuat Sherpa it can. We've got a little handle right here, and you just tilt it away. And as you can see, whenever we open up the back of our Mazda, there is more than enough room to open it up and get everything else out that we need, our helmets, maybe a cooler. Now as you can see, we have a lot of room in between our hatch and our handles, which is really important in my opinion. This is one of our bikes that has longer handles, so it's good to see that there's more than enough room. And then to actually bring it back up is very easy. All you have to do is grab and then put it back into place. Now this Kuat Sherpa is a 2 bike rack, and whenever it comes to the weight capacity for each bike, it's going to be 40 pounds, which is really impressive considering the bike rack itself is only 32, so it's very easy whenever you have to take it on and off your vehicle. Now this bike rack holds your bike in 2 different places. Neither one of them actually is going to have any contact with your frame, which is really nice if you have a carbon frame and you don't want anything to happen to that where it may warp it, or if you have some different odd-shaped frames like women's frames, children's frames, anything like that. Whenever it comes to the bike, you'll be good on that end. Now let's take a closer look at how this is held. Now your back tire is held in place by this strap. It's very easy to handle, and it's going to be the first step when we want to take off our bike. All you have to do is press it in and then take it out. It's got pretty nice padding. I haven't seen anything where it would be any detriment to your wheel, so that's really nice. And taking a closer look, you can see that it has the ribs, so it's going to hold it in place whenever you need to strap it down. And as you can see at the front, we're going to have a wheel hook that's holding our wheel in place. And all we have to do is press it up and then push it over to the side. Very easy. I would keep a hand on your bike when you're about to take it off, but there's nothing in the way whenever we're about to take it off, so all we have to do is lift it off and we're ready to go. Now with our bike off, as we can see, the wheel cradle is really nice. It has this little piece right here that goes up and down, so it'll be able to hold your wheel, but at the same time, it'll keep it out of the way whenever you're not going to be using it. And something to keep in mind whenever you are deciding if your bike will fit on here is that it's going to have a max wheel width of 3 inches. So your larger fat tire bikes aren't going to be able to fit on this. Along with that, the wheelbase is going to be 47 inches this can hold. So your more aggressive and large mountain bikes, they're probably not going to fit on here, but I would definitely check and see what your measurements are before you buy this. Something also to keep in mind is you definitely want to put everything back in position before you take off. And another quick look at the hook. It's really nice. It keeps in place. I like the way that it's so easy to work with, and then you can just put it down here and it's out of the way. Now let's get a couple of different measurements to see how this works with your vehicle. Now the most important measurement in my opinion to keep in mind whenever you have this on the back of your CX30 is how much room does it take up on the back of your vehicle. And on the back of your vehicle it's going to take up about 32 inches extra, so whenever you're backing up or parking into a garage, that's something to remember. And we're going to come back to that in just a second to show you how to mitigate some of that room. Another measurement I want to get is how much room do we have to the actual ground. And from this position, it's going to be around 21 inches. And like I said, whenever it comes to mitigating some of that length, all we have to do is tilt it up, just like how we tilted it back. Now, as you can see, this takes a lot of room off. And with it in this position, it's going to make it to where it's about 16 inches from the end of the vehicle to right about here at the front where our handle is. that is going to be much, much better than the 32 inches. You can see another measurement that we need to get is the closest point to our vehicle, and that is about 3 3/4 inches. That is something to keep in mind whenever you want to know how close it is in between. It's not going to move any closer, so that's good. And that is something that will make sure that you don't have any dents on your vehicle itself. The last measurement I want to get is the ground clearance. This is something to keep in mind whenever you're going up a steep hill or you're in rocky terrain. That kind of stuff can happen a lot whenever you're wanting to go on off-road biking. And let's see how much we have. It's about 12 inches to the bottom right here, which is pretty good, to be honest, on this CX30. Now, one thing I want to talk about is the Kuat Sherpa's design and look. It's really, really nice in my opinion, super slim and minimalistic while still having everything that you would need. It also comes in 3 different colors, and that is gray, black, and pearl. Now, we have the gray here today, and it's got this orange accent, which is something I really like because it gives it a little splash of color, but at the same time, with how dark it is, it works on most types of vehicles. Now, this Sherpa is a 2-inch hitch bike rack, so that means that it can fit into 2-inch hitches, and it also comes with a hitch pin and a lock, which luckily, as you can see, the keys are actually key-alike with the rest of your Kuat bike rack. Now, the thing stabilizing this bike rack is actually the anti-rattle mechanism that we have right here. As you can see, whenever I turn it, it's going to make it where it's a little bit more wobbly, it's moving around, but it's super easy to just tighten down like this. It takes a couple seconds. And then once you're like that, as you can see, as I'm shaking it, it's shaking the entire vehicle, not just the bike rack. It's one of the best types of anti-rattle mechanisms I've ever seen on a bike rack, which is saying a lot considering we have a lot of good ones here. My final thoughts on the Kuat Sherpa is the fact that it is one of my favorite bike racks that we sell here. It works with a myriad of different bikes, along with being very accessible, especially let's say that you have older family members and you want to know if they are able to handle this with tilting it back and forth. They can do that while maybe you're working on something else. This is a great bike rack if you just want to take it out, you and a friend, go on a ride and not have to worry about anything being a hassle. And that was a look at the Kuat Sherpa 2.0 bike rack on our 2020 Mazda CX-30. My name is John, and have a great one.